What up, everybody? What is good? Welcome to the Damn Dude podcast.
Damn, dude.
This is season 2, episode 27. That makes technically 127 episodes. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. I am your host, California Cal. I am not one of those types of Californians, I've got to say. And welcome to the Damn Dude podcast, everybody. Welcome, yes. Oh, yes. Welcome and relax. Hope you guys are having a beautiful day today. Like I said, this is the Damn Dude podcast. This is where we have the conversations that need to be had in a way that'll make you think and say, damn, dude.
Damn, dude.
Some shit to really help entertain, educate, and make an impact on life, perspective, and the way that we think. So that's what we do. You know what I mean? Appreciate you guys. For those of you guys that are new, welcome to the family. Appreciate you guys. For those loyal listeners, what up? And thank you. I appreciate you guys as well. It's a beautiful thing to have people who actually care about the show. You know what I mean? Whenever we start off with new ventures or new things, if we have the wrong motivation, it's easy to stop. And people don't really fuck with your stuff if you have the wrong motivation. So I think because I have the right motivation, it kind of creates something that's authentic to listen to. And kind of no matter where you come from, there's something that's applicable to you. So without further ado, let's jump into this motherfucking episode. So whether you're at work, you're kicking back in your chair, you're laying in bed, you're driving your car, you're out for a run, yeah, this is for you guys. This show is commercial-free, ad-free, sponsor-free. I got a couple of my own sponsors, which I just kind of make up every time. But yeah, man, we're going to be talking about a couple different things. Desensitization, that's one major thing, and the other piece of this is going to be appreciating our health, and listening to our bodies, because that's more important than fucking ever, especially right now, and especially as we're all getting older and shit too. And the thing is, if you're lucky enough to get old, then there's certain things we got to do to prepare our bodies and set ourselves up in the best way possible, right? So it's kind of like if you think about raising kids, if you raise a kid till they're 18 years old and you spend the whole time feeding them junk food, you're going to raise a fat, unhealthy kid. At the same time, if you feed your kid healthy, you exercise, you participate in stuff, you've got a child who grows up to be healthy. So if we spent those first 18 years, I guess really 14, 15 years. Because once you're that age, you kind of start buying your own food, make your own decisions and making your own money and whatever, right? But when we raise, so let's just say 10 years, right? Let's just say you raise a kid for 10 years and you feed them bad and feed them TV and entertainment garbage just continuously and no stuff that actually helps or moves them forward in life. Consider how important those 10 years are. Why? Because those first 10 years set the child up for who they're going to be as an adult. So here's the thing, though, that's really trippy and interesting is that if we become adults, what about the next 10 years? How are we setting ourselves up to be the most dope, successful, and in the know adult? Or how can we set ourselves up to be the most in the know old person? Because 10 years from now, we're going to have to live a whole new life. 10 years from then, you're going to have to live a whole new life. 10 years ago, you lived a whole different life. Right now, we're all living a different life than we did 10 years ago. And if you're still living the same life from 10 years ago, something's wrong. You got to do something, right? So this is why it's so important that we have some sort of awareness of ourselves and our body, and we're able to appreciate our health and listen to our body in a way where it's like we're not desensitized from our own body. You know what I'm saying? So it's like if we have awareness of our body, then we can know and we can do the right stuff and take the right moves to be able to move ourselves forward in the healthiest way possible. So that way we're not raising it's like, you know, metaphorically, we're not raising kids to be TV zombies or junk food addicts, right? Now that happens, like my parents didn't raise me to be a junk food addict, but I kind of like turned into one to a certain degree. I'm not really like a TV addict. I don't really watch TV or anything, but you know, it's like I'll watch internet stuff or I'll waste time on social media and shit. So that's kind of the same thing, you know. But anyways, my point is, sorry, 1 sec. Let me write something down for my notes, otherwise I'm gonna forget. Like, dude, we've officially been desensitized, like, to the fullest degree. So I think about this in a deeper way, because it's easy for us to all just be like, yeah, we've been desensitized to all the shit on the internet and TV and whatever. Yeah, absolutely. But it applies different and broader than that as well. So let's say, I'm gonna give a personal example. So I used to sell motorcycles, or I used to work at the motorcycle shop, and at the motorcycle shop, we sold cruiser bike. It was like mainly all Japanese stuff. So we sold like cruiser bikes, sport bikes, dual sports, dirt bikes, quads, boats, jet skis, RVs. What else? Just all sorts of random shit, right? And then all the parts and accessories, and it's a full commission job. And motorcycles is like my favorite thing in the world, right? So anybody who knows me, like, especially for a long period of time, they would, if you ask, like, what's Calvin's favorite stuff? A lot of people would probably say motorcycles. And I mean, even thinking now, like, people would probably say motorcycles. My kids are up there, obviously, as an adult and a dad now. But I mean, like, for my own stuff, you know, my kids, motorcycles, skateboarding, weed, podcasts, learning, practicing integrity. Those are like the things that I'm all about this day and age. Having fun, surfing, that'd probably be up there too. So when I'm looking at this, I'm like, okay, I worked at the motorcycle shop. Motorcycles is my favorite shit. And I'll tell you this too. Actually, my very first word as a kid was nin nin, like the sound a motorcycle makes. That was literally my first words as a baby. Like before I could even talk, I'd be like nin 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 nin. And I have live to ride tattooed on my chest. After I broke my neck, I still kept riding motorcycles. I broke my skull, neck, and back and was banned from riding motorcycles ever again. So I started riding my motorcycle to rehab with a broken neck. I had a neck brace and a broken neck, and I would put my helmet on once my neck with the neck brace was strong enough to support the helmet, and I would show up to physical therapy like that. And there was one day I used to hide my helmet and my jacket from my physical therapist so they wouldn't know. And then one day they caught me hiding my helmet under the chair, like walking in with it. And we stopped and looked at each other and we're kind of like, we don't need each other anymore, huh? Like, yeah, I think we're good here. Like, so I love motorcycles, dude. Like, I love motorcycles. So with that being said, I end up working at the motorcycle shop and I'm selling bikes. I'm talking about bikes. I'm around people who love bikes. I'm around, you know, the whole thing. The environment, every time I walk into work, you smell the rubber of the tires. Like when you go into a motorcycle dealership, like what the smell that you're smelling, it all comes from the tires. And if there was any bikes that had been ran or like there was gas in them and stuff, most of the bikes in a dealership don't have gas, batteries, or fluids in them. Well, maybe like coolant, sometimes engine oil. But otherwise, there's nothing in the bikes, right? So what you're smelling is either a bike that had gas and got turned off and kind of the fumes of it kind of were lingering in the store. But what you're really, really smelling is the rubber from the tires and kind of like the plastic from the bikes and stuff. But the main smell is that rubber tire smell, which is slightly different from when, oh man, it's not like this anymore. But back in the day when you used to go to Costco, they had a whole room full of tires. Like they kind of still do, but now they're all on racks and it's all organized and safety and this and that. But back in the day, there was just this big open room where the tires were stacked from the floor up. And that smell of tires in there was way more intense than what a motorcycle dealership smells like. So anyway, I would like every time I walk into a dealership before working there and then now after working there, I appreciate that tire smell. That it smells so good, like that motorcycle shop smell. There's a very specific smell. And then in the mornings, there's a specific smell too. There's different times of the day that a motorcycle dealership smells kind of differently. And on the weekends, it was this mix of like baked cookies, rubber tires, and like kind of like remnant gasoline. And I fucking love that, dude. Like, I love that. But after a while, I started going in, I start not noticing the smell after a while. I go in, I start not even looking at the bikes. After working there for so long, I started getting desensitized to all these cool things. Normally, I would go in and see a brand new quad, see a brand new street bike or dirt bike or whatever. I like all bikes. And I'd be like, holy shit, I walk around it, look at all the angles, look at all the little covers and pieces and components and all the little details, the way that the exhaust is routed, the way that the handlebars are set, the way that the seat is set, the way that the tank, is formed into the ergonomics of the way that the bike sits with the seating position. Because for those of you into dirt bikes, like, or quads or whatever, you guys know that, especially dirt bikes before, it would be like you're sitting in the saddle of the seat and then the tank is like this big hump and you kind of got it right in front of you, right? But in all the modern day bikes, the gas tank has been integrated kind of to the seat where it's like the same level. So you don't have this big hump in front of you anymore. So it's a bit of a change, right? And it changes the center of gravity. It changes the entire ergonomics of the bike, and it changes the way you ride the bike. Because a lot of times too, when you ride a dirt bike, if you want to ride it fast anyway, like it would always be like nuts on the tank. Like you got to be up on the tank riding that shit, like riding the front wheel, because you just kind of let the back tire do whatever the fuck most of the time. There's certain circumstances where this changes. But in general, you ride the front wheel, and if you know what that means, I'm sure you already get it, but it's like you just follow the front wheel in the bars, because the back tire, when you ride a dirt bike, it fucking slaps around and spins and it's just flopping everywhere as you're riding. So how you sit on the bike really makes a fucking difference. And that tank being there or not, being able to sit up where the tank used to be can now allow you to ride faster, because you got a lower center of gravity and you could be higher up on the seat, or more forwards, I should say, on the seat, which allows you to ride that front wheel a little easier, and that kind of equals more control in turn. So after a while, we'd start getting new stuff, and I'm just like, all right, that's cool, whatever, And then to me, what I used to fantasize about, this bike, you see so many of them, and I would have so many coworkers who had equally nice bikes or more expensive bikes or anything in between. And it's kind of like, no biggie. Fucking jackass, what's his face rides one of those. And then all of a sudden, something was this beautiful machine that we used to travel, miles to get to the store and go out of our way just to look at these things. I now have its presence in front of me every single day, and I'm kind of just like, whatever. Like, I don't even look at it anymore. It got to the point where I was like, I'd walk in the store, see some of my favorite bikes, and then just kind of keep going. But when I first started, or when I used to not work at the shop, I would walk in, be like, oh my God, and marvel over it and just walk in circles around it and just stare at it and like, wow, and appreciate it. So what ended up happening was, like, with all the brands and parts and everything, it all kind of became less. Like, now that I don't work in a motorcycle dealership, like, I want a full exhaust system for my motorcycle. But the thing is that, like, now it's a whole different context. It's like, oh man, this exhaust, can I afford it? Can I save up for it? Can I do this? Can I do that? However I'm looking at it, right? But when you're at the shop, you're like, that's the exhaust pipe you got? That shit's weak. Versus like, dude, you got a pipe for your bike? It's like, dude, it can cost like a cheap ass, just a slip-on exhaust pipe, like where you just put the end of it on. So your bike's a little louder. It's not really actually much faster when you do just the slip-on. I mean, barely, because weight savings and you get a little bit more flow. But if you still got a catalytic converter and all that shit in it, then your bike's not really that much faster. But my point is that an exhaust pipe for a motorcycle is not cheap. You know, like it's anywhere from something super cheap and old school, like $300 up to, you can spend $3,000 on an exhaust setup. You can spend even more probably. So that's my point, is like, dude, this guy just added a $300 to $5,000 part to his bike. He spent $800 on it. And I'm like, dude, that's lame. You didn't even spend you didn't even get the $3,000 one, because all that is in my world so much now. It's like the people I work with, we all kind of make about the same amount of money. So that kind of desensitizes us to how much, to the appreciation of what stuff actually costs. So if something costs this, and it's like, wow, you know, like, oh, we all make the same, so it's no big deal. It's the same thing as like, if you can afford to shop at Costco, you are motherfucking blessed. Like, but yet you've been, if you shop at Costco and you're not like, wow, you've been desensitized. Because think about this. There was a time, it was like a week or two, like 2 weeks ago, where I was broke as shit. I didn't have any fucking money, and all I could afford to do was eat at Costco. I could spend like $3. I could spend like $4 maybe, and that would be my meal for the entire day. You know, get a Costco hot dog and pizza. And that would, I would be there broke as fuck, just eating my pizza and hot dog. It's the only thing I'm eating for the day. Maybe I would eat some bread or something earlier in the day, or a sandwich, like peanut butter and jelly sandwich or something. So as I'm sitting there eating, because I have no money, I literally can't even go in and buy a pair of socks. I literally can't even go in the store and buy almonds. Like, I can't even go in the store and buy toilet paper. I can't go in the store and buy milk. Like, there was probably not one item in Costco that I could afford aside from the hot dog and the pizza in the food court. Because I don't think they even sell anything under $5 at Costco. Like, not that I can think of. You know, like maybe, I don't know, like a little thing of sugar. Like, I think yogurt costs $5. You know, but I would have rather have eaten the pizza and hot dog than a fucking tub of plain yogurt for dinner. You know what I mean? But my point is, as I'm sitting there and my context is completely different than the rest of these people, because all these other people at Costco can, at least in the sense of saying being able to afford to shop at Costco, meaning they had some means to go in there and come out with items. And then after they bought those items, they go to the food court and they go to eat. So as I'm sitting there, I see them with all their items and I'm like, oh my God, if I had all that, I would go straight home and just eat all of I would eat that. I would ration that, do this. And I'm sitting there thinking all this stuff. I'm like, God, dude, what would it be like to be able to go in and afford an entire fucking shopping cart of groceries from Costco? You know what I mean? Like, you can buy like 4 items and spend like $200 at Costco just magically. Not even like big ticket items, just random food shit, you know? Because every item you pick up is average of like $10 to $12. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like you grab 10 items, you're well over $100. You know what I'm saying? So my point is that how many people go to shop at Costco and aren't grateful that they have the ability to do that? The only reason that could happen is because you've been desensitized. So what if you were at your brokest moment and you got taken to Costco and somebody's like, here's $60, go spend it. Holy shit. But in our new, modern, desensitized way of viewing shit, we go, $60, I can't buy shit at Costco. Well, go to Costco with fucking $4 and then see how it feels. But you see what I'm saying? It's like that. It's that contrast. And that is the desensitization desensitization. That is the desensitization of us. You see what I'm saying? So it's the same thing as me at the motorcycle shop. I'm just like, whatever, it's just another day. You go to Costco, you're used to being able to shop at Costco. You don't even appreciate that luxury anymore. You're just like, I gotta go to fucking Costco. It all becomes less, and we have no appreciation for it because we've been desensitized. So if you look at where is all this desensitization come from, I realize I just said that word off, and I'm not even going to try it again. We've been so desensitized that it's like, because the internet for one, and then the internet brought like having stuff to light and making it normal, because you don't see people showing off what they don't have and how much they're suffering on the internet. You see everybody winning. Oh, I'm making this cake and I got fucking 12, or I'm making this cake, I'm making this dinner, I've got fucking 12 different types of fish, I've got fucking $400 worth of steak that I'm just cutting up and fucking playing with. You know what I mean? It's like, we see this all day long, and now it's like, bro, all you can afford is a hot dog and a pizza. Well, motherfucker, it's not that's all I can afford. It's that I get to be able to have a pizza and a hot dog. You know what I'm saying? But when we've been desensitized, it's like, a pizza and a hot dog, what the fuck do you think this is? You know what I'm saying? But shit, take all your money and take all your food, and I promise you, the richest motherfucker will be happy to have that hot dog and pizza. You're gonna have a vegan ass motherfucker, and once you've taken everything, they're gonna be like, that pizza and hot dog's starting to look pretty good. So if you look at it, our food has been desensitized because the way that we view it online. Our entertainment has been desensitized because the way that we view it on the internet. Think back. I don't know about you guys, but I know when I was a kid, backflips were not a thing. Like, you couldn't backflip on a fucking bicycle, on a motorcycle, on a skateboard, definitely not in a fucking monster truck or a car. And now people are doing this on the regular. You know what I mean? And we've been desensitized to it. For me, I love biking and skating and motorcycles. And even myself, somebody who really appreciates that stuff, I'm scrolling through and I see fucking Nitro Circus and they're doing quadruple backflips. And there's times I'm just like, okay, and I just keep scrolling. I'm like, I just scrolled past somebody doing a quadruple backflip. Literally several years ago, that was impossible. And now they're actually doing this regularly. And it's like, if you don't know how to do this, then you suck. See, and that's what's interesting. It's like, well, if you don't have all this ballin' ass food, if you don't have this ballin' ass car, if you don't have all this stuff, then you suck. But the reality is, most of us can't afford all of that shit. And most of us are just kind of pretending. Well, not most, but a lot of us. It's like, especially as we get older, we kind of jump into this like, oh, career and money and this and that. I got it all together. Or we jump into like, fuck, I'm trying to figure out my happiness and myself, and then I'll get to that. But it's like, not many of us just cruise straight down the middle where we're working on happiness and we're working on appreciation and we're working on the career and money and focus and have gratitude intact to where you don't lose sight of how much of a luxury it is to be able to shop at fucking Costco. Because if you can shop at Costco, you are blessed, you are rich, you're thriving. If you can shop at Costco and buy anything extra, you are thriving and you have it really fucking good. If we can go to the store and buy snacks, we have it really fucking good. If we're not just eating purely survival food, we have it fucking good. So this is the thing too with fucking sex, porn, all this stuff, desensitized. It's unbelievable. You know what I mean? And the way that you communicate, there's people will be like, and it's like, I've seen friends show me their DMs or heard stories or whatever, where people will just be like, hey, what's up, girl, wanna fuck? Hey, what's up, girl, wanna see my dick? Hey, what's up, girl? And it's like, yo, like, you would never talk like that to a person in real life. I mean, maybe certain circumstances, but in general, no. Like, you wouldn't go up to somebody you don't know or you've only met once or twice, or somebody's fucking ex-girlfriend and be like, hey, what's up, blah, blah, blah. You know, it's like, you wouldn't do that because you would get your ass kicked in real life. So this is where this whole desensitization comes from, is like the internet's got a big part to do with it, but the other piece of it is that we lack appreciation. That's kind of how we've became desensitized, is by not appreciating shit for what the fuck it actually is.
Damn, dude.
We're going to take a quick break when we ride bicycle. Hola, hola, hola. ¿Cómo estás? Do you suffer from being a little bitch? Well, if you do, then you better start practicing some gratitude. Oh, I just went from Mexican to Indian. I just messed up the commercial. I was going to say, if you're being a little bitch ass, practice gratitude. I promise you, man, that's just going to help.
Damn, dude.
So, welcome back, everybody. Hope you guys like our sponsor. But nah, dude, like I was saying, is we've lost appreciation, and that's how we've became desensitized. Because how is it that you can go to the fucking store, buy $350 worth of things that you don't even fucking care about, bring it home and just not even think fucking twice about it? You know what I mean? It's like, how often do you stop and appreciate the fact that this is another thing? If you can afford paper towels, you've got it good in life.
Damn, dude.
If you can afford paper towels and napkins, you are balling. If you can afford paper towels, napkins, and to leave lights on in the next room, you really don't understand how fucking good you have life. Truly. Yeah, it's funny, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, if you were listening to this in Africa and you had nothing and you had to fucking figure food out every day, you wouldn't even find this funny. You'd be like, yeah. But if we have this fucking spoiled first world shit going on, then we're like, ha, that's funny. Afford to buy napkins and paper towels and leave the light on. No, it's real. That's really fucking real. Because that means, like, if you can't recognize that, then you don't appreciate it. And if you don't appreciate it, then what's even the fucking point? You know what I mean? And I think that's how life ends up bankrupting us, you know, metaphorically, is that we don't appreciate shit. We go so long, and then we start asking for new shit. So life has to, you know, fucking rail us over the head, knock us of all of our Sonic the Hedgehog coins. And then we got to pick up all those coins and then fucking keep running. So if we just stay in appreciation, we don't have to get our coins knocked from us as often as life will force us to if we don't come with appreciation. You know what I'm saying?
Damn, dude.
If you think about the spirituality too, it's like we live in a world of fucking memes. And if information isn't fed to us in just the right way, we don't accept it or consider it. And if you say one word that I don't agree with or I don't like, or you're one of those people and shit like that. So it's like we stopped appreciating and we really stopped fucking listening as a whole. And that's why the internet is the way that it is. You know what I mean? The internet is definitely its own culture. And there's definitely shit that you can do and say and get away with online that you absolutely cannot get away with in real life. Like, you would get checked. You would get fucking chin checked. You'd get fucking slapped. You'd get whatever the fuck it is in real life. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, how many of us are let down continuously because we don't have appreciation? Another sign that shows we're lacking appreciation is when we start comparing. Because let's take fucking like porn and sex and stuff. Let's say, like, if you're used to watching hella porn, then you have this certain idea and concept of what sex is supposed to be. It's like, it's a show and there's all this extra like stuff going on to make it look good visually for the camera. It's a show. It's a performance. You know what I mean? If you show like the average person, people having sex with each other, it's not going to look like that. And, you know, then you got people trying and this and that, and everybody in between. Nobody even knows what's actually correct, you know? I mean, not nobody, but it just in generalizing, right? So what happens is, like, then we start comparing. Oh, my partner's doesn't do this or doesn't like this or that, or whatever, right? And then all of a sudden, oh, this person sucks. And then it just kind of keeps going. So we start comparing and we stop appreciating. And then it kind of creates this whole fucking like tunnel of fuckery that we don't actually enjoy. You know what I mean? So as far as all of us being desensitized, this goes so deep because not only does it go into our entertainment, not only does it go into our spirituality, not only does it go into our money and our habits and our job, not only does this desensitization, we've been desensitized to all of these things. So if we've been desensitized from thinking, from appreciation, if we've been desensitized from present moment, if we've been desensitized from sex, spirituality, connectedness, if we've been desensitized from all of that, what do you think the chances of appreciating our own health will be?
Damn, dude.
So I think about this. It's like, if I really appreciated my health, then I would likely appreciate the taste of vegetables much more. I would likely appreciate the taste of healthy food in general, I should say, much more. You know what I mean? But because I don't all the way appreciate healthy food, because I have comparison in the back of my brain and built into me, I've been desensitized to good food. How that has happened is by too much sweets, too much bullshit, too much stuff that tastes like fucking just beyond tasty. You know what I mean? Because of that, healthy food, I've been desensitized from healthy food. And then I go online and then it's like, because I follow a bunch of like healthy people now, like half the time my feed is like naturally half people making the craziest fucking foods ever. And then the other half is like people just like on point with their fucking vitamins and proteins and working out and all this shit, right? So what I've realized is that, like, dude, many of us, it takes a breaking point or something of that sort to be able to get us to flip to get us to flip the script and have us jump into action. So listening to our body, you know, it's kind of like a corny played out phrase at this point, but it's real. If when we listen to our body, and this is something I need to take on for myself, so that's kind of why I chose to dissect this a bit too, is that when we listen to our body, it tells us exactly what we need or want. But oftentimes we listen to just our brain and our cravings and our things of comparison rather than what we actually need for us. And then this kind of goes into like your bitch voice versus your boss voice. You know, it's like, which one are you listening to? And it's a trip because I noticed I do this myself, and I was talking with the topic plug earlier. What up, topic plug? Hope you feel better. Talking about like, dude, I'm never taking my body for granted again. You know, or I'm never taking health for granted again. Never taking my health for granted again. And I feel, dude, for whatever reason, that just like hella hit me because I'm like, fuck, that's what I do too. And it's not until something is way out of whack that I actually start appreciating myself and my body and the fact that I used to be able to do it. You know what I mean? So when I'm like, I know like a lot of us will often wait for there to be a deficiency, for there to be an ailment, an illness, pain, something like that, right? But why is it that we wait till something's wrong before we actually do anything about it? Well, because we've been so desensitized that we don't even have a present conversation or consciousness of or with our own body and its feelings and what it actually needs anymore. You know what I mean? Because if we took this back to ancient days, there's no snacking. You just ate or you didn't. You know what I mean? Like, and if you look at that, it's like we've gotten so far from that we just eat just to eat because like a certain hour will approach and we're like, oh, it's time to eat. But it's like, is your body even hungry? You know what I'm saying? Or are you just bored? I'm one of those people, I'll eat because I'm bored. Well, I'm not because I'm bored, but just because, oh, I'm not doing anything. Let me eat some food. You know? So I catch myself. I'm like, okay, well, just because you're not doing anything doesn't mean that you got to go eat or that, you know, oh, well, it's fucking 2:00, time to eat. maybe if you're on some kind of diet and you're out to accomplish something specific, yes. But in general, especially in the United States of America, we just eat because a certain time showed up on the clock. You know what I mean? And it's a trip. It's lunchtime. Well, that means it's time I eat food. Are you hungry? Not really, but it's lunchtime. Like, bro, that's being desensitized. You know what I mean? Well, this is the only hour I have to whatever. Yeah, okay. There's ways to get around shit and different ways to do things, But my point being is that we've been so desensitized that we just kind of rely on the clock to tell us when to eat rather than our own internal biological clock. And now that we're in this place of where it's like they're trying to rewrite what it means to biologically be something in real fucking life. They're trying to like how they're trying to, like that fucking lady, I forget what her position is, but she's supposed to be like in control of what is it? I should have looked this up. I wasn't planning on talking about this, but I don't know. It was the black woman, and somebody asked her, she's running for the new seat of something to do with like public crisis or something, or judge or something like that. And they asked her, okay, well, what is a woman? And she's like, I don't know. I can't answer that. And it's like, bro, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, you are a woman. Just answer the question. However, whatever the fuck you come up with, just say it. And she's just like, oh, I don't know. Like, trying not to offend anybody. And it's like, bitch, what the fuck are you doing? Like, so you don't know what makes you a woman? Well, there's fucking trans people who know what make them a man or a woman or make them trans. So why do you not know as a woman what a woman is? I'm not a woman and I can tell you what a woman is. Like, how does this, you see what I'm saying? So there's another level of desensitization. Fuck, I have trouble with this word. There's another level of desensitization. There we go. It's another level of it, of being desensitized. It's adding that ization part to that word that fucks it all up for me. But they're desensitizing us. You see what I'm saying? There's another level of it. And that's via the internet that I was able to hear and see that information. So again, it's the internet feeding us this shit. So I often have to step out of, I got to step back and look at myself in third person and be like, all right, are you getting consumed and caught up in this internet world and version of shit? Or are you actually thinking for yourself and allowing that to be what it is? So this is something too I would always ask my oldest son. He would tell me, like, he's really into music and he was really into like 90s rock and grunge and stuff like that. And he'll come up and tell me, well, he used to tell me stuff like, dude, like, I don't know, like, I'm just making shit, random examples. He'll be like, oh, Kurt Cobain is the best singer ever. And I'll be like, what? Like, he's good, but like, what do you mean best singer ever? Like, where did you get, what are you talking about? What makes you say that? He's like, oh, well, I read blah, 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 blah. And I was like, okay, that is somebody's opinion. It's not a fact. You can't even factually say somebody's the best singer. You can look at different elements of it. You can say, oh, well, this person can hit this note, that person can hit this note, or you can say this person sold this many records, this many whatever. But at the end of the day, it's all subjective. You know what I mean? It's all on the individual to say who's better or not or whatever, right? So he would tell me things like that as if it's a fact, like the same way that you would be like, well, men have penises and women have vaginas. And it's like, yes, that's a fact you could read. Well, maybe not anymore, but it's a fact you can read and then go tell somebody. And it's like, okay, got it, But to say, oh, well, the internet said such and such is the best, so that's what makes it so. No, that's not true. Or, oh, so this was the biggest band of their time. No, it wasn't. I was alive back then. He would tell me stuff like that about different groups and be like, oh, Soundgarden was the best band at that time. I'm like, no, they weren't. Like, they were barely popular. Like, what are you talking about? And I'm just throwing shit out there. But my point is that I would ask him, and I'm just using music as an example. This went way deeper into other things too. I can't really think of an example off the top of my head, but I think you get where I'm going with this. So he would tell me stuff and I would stop and I would be like, Nate, is that internet information or is that real life? And he'd be like, oh, And then he's kind of like talking to himself about it, kind of like replaying it in his head. He's like, oh, well, I can see how that would be kind of like just somebody's opinion from the internet. I'm like,
damn, dude.
yes, sir. I was like, do you realize, like, I'm just some guy. If you didn't know me and I just started fucking writing shit as facts, and just because you like what I wrote and you went and told all your friends, that doesn't make it real life. I can sit here and write posts about how Bone Thugs was the best rap group ever. Yes, I believe that still. I believe that back then. But there's other things and reasons that that's not a fact. It's just my opinion. But if I wrote a bunch of blogs about it and I put that out there as that's what the fuck happened, I was alive for it, I was there, I bought all the albums, I was doing it in real time, because there definitely was a difference between how shit occurs in real time versus how it shows up on the internet and in history later. So I could sit here and fucking spout that off all day long because I believe that. It's true to me, but it doesn't make it true to life. You know what I'm saying? It's like, to what metric is that a fact? And that's where a lot of this internet information gets lost and loses its weight, is because it's like, well, where does that come from? That's just somebody's opinion. You know what I mean? And they just ran with it. And then a bunch of other people that's their opinion also, they ran with it too because it makes sense and it fits their narrative and favorite shit. You know what I mean? So when we are able to kind of like if we take this back a bit, we're so desensitized because we don't know what's right and what's wrong and what's somebody's opinion and what's a fact about something. Because journalism's dead. There's no real journalists. Like, you remember back in, I mean, not none, but it's very rare. You know, journalists are people like fucking Andy Frisella, Joe Rogan, like Gary Vee. Like, these are our modern day journalists who are actually telling the truth about real life and real shit. As where you see these fuckers on Fox or CNN or whatever. I don't watch any of that, but like, you see those guys, they're not real reporters. They're reading scripts of stuff that they did not go out and investigate. That's not journalism. Journalism is going out, putting yourself in the scene, figuring it out, being like, oh, this is what the fuck's actually going on, reporting on it objectively and open and honestly, and then coming back and be like, well, you know, this is what the fuck's going on. I don't really like this or that, but this is what the fuck is going on, you know? And it's like, if we had people go out to Russia and Ukraine right now and really report back to us, we're going to get different information than from what the news is telling us. You know what I mean? At the same time, you talk to people there, we're going to get different information from them. And then it's like and then you listen to their news reporters, you're going to get different information from them. And it's this whole like wacky thing of all this weird information. So by the end of the day, you're like, well, what's the actual truth about it? I don't fucking know, because everybody's feeding it this weird shit. And now we don't know what it is. Like, we've got this mutant. That's kind of what the internet has become, is like this mutant of uncertainty. It's been a mutant of uncertainty and comparison. And it's lacking authenticity. It's lacking realness. And you know what I mean? It's like everything is a joke. And when everything's a joke and we have no solid definitions of anything, what do we have? Well, we have confusion and desensitization. Trying this word again. Fuck, dude. We end up with a world of comparison and desensitization.
Damn, dude.
But it's true. We're in this world of comparison and being desensitized. And once we're in that, then what? See, this is where it starts getting into conspiracy and starts getting a little weird, but it could very really be real, which is we're being desensitized on purpose so that way we could be led to the next thing. It's like putting blinders on a horse. You desensitized it, so now it just goes where you want it to go. It doesn't see anything extra. So if you look at it, it's kind of like the internet is this hallway of confusing information. It's like it's leading you down a path, but what is the path? You know, so it's like the way I'm visualizing this is like you're walking down a hallway and there's there's like visuals of explosions on the left side of the wall, and there's visuals of hunger and entertainment and this and that and riches and luxury, and on the other side there's all this other distracting random shit. And you stand in this hallway and you're looking at all this shit on both sides of the walls just flashing and fucking exploding and being colorful and entertaining and being all this shit going on, right? And then what we don't realize is we kind of slowly start walking down the hallway, not realizing it, just to kind of see the next piece of art on the wall, to see the next flashy thing on the screen. And we keep going and we're looking left and right and left and right and looking all shit. Holy fuck. Until we've walked all the way down the hallway to get locked into a cage or to fucking fall off the cliff or whatever it is. It's like, where are we being led to? Where does this hallway take us? So that's what's interesting about the internet is like, it's this world of like bullshit and complete fake fuckery. And then at the same time, it's also this world of people being like, yo, here's the reality of it. Like, this is so real. And when we live in this place of the people spitting the facts and the people spitting the bullshit, you can't tell who's who. That's where we're like in this weird fucking space, dude. Like, look up health. You know what I mean? It's like you look at like fucking, what's that dude? Like, hello, primals. The fucking, what the fuck is that guy's name? The carnivore guy. Why can't I think of his fucking name right now? Dude with the beard and the fucking crazy six pack and walks around with no shirt and the little shorts carrying the fucking weight sled. Hey, primals, Liver King. There you go. The Liver King. Like, you look at the Liver King or Carnivorialis or Raw Meat Experiment. These guys are all dudes on Instagram. If you look at these guys and you're like, damn, okay, I get it. I see what they're talking about. That fucking makes sense. It adds up. These fools are eating raw meat and shit. And then on the other hand, it's like, well, let's listen to the doctors. These guys are all fucking healthy and in shape and walking around buff as fuck, not getting salmonella, not getting diseases and all this stuff like we're supposedly supposed to get. Then you look at the other hand, it's like, you cannot eat raw meat. You cannot eat whatever. These guys look all unhealthy. The guys who are eating the raw meat are all fucking healthy looking. And then you got everybody in between. Then you got the vegans. Then you got the paleo. Then you got the keto. Then you got all this crazy shit going on. And it's like, well, if you take a piece of that, that works. If you take a piece of that, that works. If you take a piece of that, that works. If you take a piece of that, that works. So I think that's like the smartest position we can take as internet users is to just understand to like every single thing we see, just take a piece of it. Because you can go and look up, is apple cider vinegar healthy? And you're going to find equal amounts of yeses and equal amounts of nos and a whole explanation and scientific thing about why. Then at the end of the day, it's like it's equal. You're not going to find one more than other. It's the same thing if you go on about fucking vaccines or this or that or any fucking single subject. You could look up motorcycles. Do Suzukis suck? Yes, no, it's the greatest bike. I'm forever Suzuki. I'm never Suzuki. Do Yamahas suck? Are they good? And it's like, dude, you're going to get every fucking answer in the world. It's just which ones you agree with is probably what you're going to start gravitating towards. What I realized for myself is when it comes to stuff like that, there's stuff I like strongly agree with, and then stuff I strongly disagree with. And those are usually the two that I gravitate first. And then I try and find the middle ground and find the reality about it. Because you can't just take one and you can't just take the other. Like, how we have to look at the internet is objectively and subjectively, where it's like, you really stop and analyze and take it in for yourself, you know, to be able to feel and understand all the way what the fuck these crazy fucks are talking about. Because the internet is filled with just random motherfuckers. Like, you don't know who's who. Because in real life and back in the day, you knew who was a bitch ass motherfucker. You knew who was afraid to play basketball. You knew who was afraid to fucking get in a fight. You knew who was afraid to fucking, go stand up for a game of butts up. You know who's afraid to fucking, take a bite of some crazy food. You know who's the person out there bitching. You know who the person is who falls and scrapes their knee and complains too much. You knew who the person was who fucking talks too much. You knew who the person was who was quiet. Now we don't know. It's like everybody can potentially be anybody. It's all wrapped up into this weird fucking entangled strange web of fuckery where we cannot decipher wrong from right, real from fake, genuine from fucking not. And that's just the fucking wacky ass world we're living in because of all this desensitization. You know what I'm trying to say? Because of all the DZD desensitization. No, I don't know. But because of all this, we're lacking awareness of our own fucking body and our own fucking health and what it means to even be fucking healthy anymore, because everything says yes and no equally, pretty much fucking as far down as you can go. So it's up to you to figure it the fuck out at that point. Jeez. We're gonna take a quick break. We'll be right back. Yes. Are you unhappy with how you are living your life? Well, perhaps you should pick up some gratitude and appreciation for yourself and your life and everything you have in it, because that is the only way you will love what you have. Be able to appreciate your full cart of groceries. Be able to appreciate the food in your cabinet. Be able to appreciate the food in your refrigerator. Be able to appreciate the fact that you have a refrigerator or a cabinet. So don't be a punk-ass little bitch. We're turning British now because I'm not planning for these accents, so they just keep coming out randomly and I keep fucking them up. So now we're British. We were kind of a Japanese lady when we first started, but now we're British. So no matter where the fuck you come from, be appreciative and be grateful. I promise you.
Damn, dude.
Damn, dude.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. So, yeah. What's up, everybody? Yeah. All right, guys. So I want to just kind of like start wrapping this up like a Christmas present. Start wrapping this up like a wiener in a condom. Start wrapping this up like a baby in a blanket. Start wrapping this up like some carne asada in a tortilla. Start wrapping this up like some shredded beef in a rolled taco. Start wrapping this up like a rapper in a rapathon. Start wrapping this up like Michael Rappaport. So no, really. If you think about it, like I was thinking about this, dude, when I first hurt my back, I like couldn't go to the bathroom without being in like absolute fucking pain, dude. Like I remember just trying to stand to take a piss was like, like if I tried to stand with my left leg straight, like equal to my right leg, it was a disaster. Having my sciatic nerve popped out of place, having sciatica, that shit hurts so bad and it affects you so much. Anybody, if you got a partner or somebody in your family who's got sciatica, they are not faking it. Well, I mean, maybe some people are, but what I mean by that is it fucking hurts. The same way how I talk about arthritis, it's real pain that really fucking hurts. Like, for reals. So, people with sciatica, I had an ex-girlfriend who had sciatica, and she would just like all of a sudden like roll over and be like, ah! And I'm like, whoa, like what the fuck is going on? She's like, my nerve. And I'm like, literally in my head, I'd be like, you just want attention. Like, and that's what I kept saying. And then finally, I got sciatica a couple years later. And then that was kind of the response to me was like, bro, like, you're kind of being a bit much. like for me, when I get hurt or sick, like I am absolutely not dramatic about it. Like I'm really not. I'm like, I don't need help. I'm fine. Like I'm so not dramatic about it that I don't know, dude. My point is though, is that like when that shit cracks off, it really goes down. Like, it really hurts. Sciatica is gnarly, dude. Like, absolutely gnarly. Like, there's no cramp or pinch nerve or anything that even comes close to how much sciatica fucks your body. Especially in your hips or your leg or your feet or your calf or your thigh. And it could also start fucking your neck and your back, and oh, it's so bad. But my point is that until it hurt to use the bathroom, to where it was like, ow, I didn't have appreciation for just being able to stand there and take a piss. You know what I'm saying? So it's like standing there this morning and I go to the bathroom, I'm like, I something crossed my mind where I'm like, oh my God, I'm so thankful I could do this right now, because I remember when this wasn't possible. I remember when this fucking hurt. Shit. I remember when I broke my skull, neck, and back and they gave me a catheter. That was the worst shit ever. And for those of you that don't know, it's basically they put a tube inside your junk so that way, because you can't get up. So whenever you have to pee, it literally just starts coming out. And you're like, what the fuck? Like, every time you feel like you're pissing yourself. Like, you are, but the tube goes to a fucking bag or a fucking tub or whatever, like canister or whatever, right? So you're not actually peeing yourself. But it's the sensation of, like, let's say you had the sensation of, I need to pee. And before you could even, like, think, oh, I need to take a piss, like, it just starts coming out. Like, that's what it was like. And not to mention, just having stuff up your junk is not the fucking business. So don't break your skull, neck, and back. But at the same time, still go out and have fun. Take chances. But dude, like, that's the thing. It's like, how much while you're not puking are you appreciating that you're not puking? How much while your stomach feels good are you appreciating that your stomach feels good until you're fucking, you know, like fucking shitting your brains out or something? Like, how much do you appreciate being able to use your knees, your elbows, your wrists, your fingers until you break them or injure them? You know what I mean? How much do you appreciate not having scrapes on your elbow to where you can bend your elbow back and forth without that pain? How much do you appreciate being able to move your toes right now if you're fortunate enough to? How much do you appreciate being able to wiggle your fingers? How much do you appreciate being able to speak? How much do you appreciate being able to lay down? Have you ever had a sunburn so bad you can't lay down? Have you ever had a rash or a fucking cut or injury so bad that laying down hurt? You know, how much do you appreciate that not being the case? You know, so this is where it's like, I love meditation because it allows us to check in with our body and kind of bring that awareness to it, even though it's not something that's at the top of our mind or we're really thinking about. Because I'm not thinking about, oh, I'm so happy I can move my wrist right now until I got arthritis in my wrist or until I break my wrist or something. And then it's until that happens and I'm like, oh man, I should have appreciated it. And then once it's healed, I kind of forget again. So this is a reminder to myself and of course to everybody else. And the more that this energy goes out into the world and this authenticity, the easier it is for all of us to have this context and momentum moving forwards. So this is where it's like, I feel it's part of my duty to inject some of the realest shit you could possibly hear, experience, or feel into the internet, because the internet is just this fucking like pussing, just fucking pulsating, pussing fucking pimple of weird fucking thoughts and information and just strange shit. Granted, all that's been here on this world, you know, pre-internet, but now it's highlighted. And now that we have the central place where everybody taps into without even fucking realizing it, because now the internet's automatic. You don't have to go and log in and kick somebody off the phone and wait for the noises and all of that shit. And because of that, it's just automatic. So this is kind of one thing where it's like, because I have to connect a hotspot on my computer, I don't have internet in my house. You'd be quite surprised that I run a fucking like internet show without even owning internet myself. I use hotspot every time. But because I have to do hotspot to get my computer to have internet access, I'm more appreciative and aware, oh, I got to get onto the internet now. And then the times where it doesn't work, or the times I run out of data and then I got to go to fucking McDonald's or Starbucks to use their Wi-Fi. to upload the episode. You know what I mean? So because the internet is just automatic now, it's already on your phone. It's already on most people's computers and TVs and fucking devices and all this shit. Because of that, I got to inject what I can. I got to do my part to feed the internet some sort of healthy shit. You know what I mean? Because the internet is a living, breathing thing that fucking, you know what I mean? Like, metaphorically, obviously, that there's such a potency to it that it dictates our real life. You know what I mean? Like, TV had that potency, but not like the internet. You know, the newspapers, the radio, it had that potency, but not like the internet. The internet is now a place where TV, written, like newspapers, magazines, movies, television series, average person, famous people, semi-famous people, one-hit wonders, everybody and anybody in between is on and in the internet. It's all in one place. I don't need to go buy a newspaper to read the same shit that I could just fucking look at my phone real quick. You know what I mean? So because the internet is constant and everywhere and always, it's like the fucking sky or the sun. And it's like, well, I'm going to do, I'm going to be as smart as I can to not fucking pollute that shit up there. I'm going to try and live a life that just kind of feeds good into the world. I'm going to pick up my trash. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. So it injects some good into here. So that's kind of what I figure I'm going to do with this show and my Instagram and all my shit that I do is I'm going to inject some goodness into it and authenticity because it needs it. And we can never have too much of it. So the more this spreads, the more awareness of ourself, and we start becoming sensitized to ourself. We start becoming more sensitive. We start having feelings and emotions and thoughts and personal opinions in the way and personal integrity and personal goals and a relationship with ourself to where we understand ourselves to create our next 10 years in a healthy way. Where it's not just willy-nilly and we're just wasting and rotting our brain for the next 10 years. No, I want to build a fucking dope-ass 40-year-old. I want to build a dope-ass 50-year-old. I want to build a dope-ass 60-year-old, 70-year-old, 80-year-old, 90-year-old. So the thing is, I got to bring the awareness to myself to eat healthy, to exercise more, and to keep doing that so that way it feeds into being a dope-ass fucking 50-year-old. The same way that if all I ate was fucking chips and snacks and cookies and shit from fucking 0 to 10, I'm going to be a fat ass kid who's lazy and I got to undo all this extra shit. You know what I mean? Now I just made like a fat, lazy 10-year-old. So I don't want to make a fat and lazy 50-year-old. I want to make a dope, healthy, young, energetic 50-year-old. So the more that we can appreciate our health and listen to our body in the sense of, hey, I'm feeling good. That made me feel good. All right, let's give it some more of that. Let's keep the food intake diverse. Let's keep the workouts diverse. Where it's like we get to use all of our body, all of our brain. Let's make what we intake into our brains diverse. Let's read different things. Let's listen to different podcasts. Let's listen to different people. Let's read different things. Let's intake and recirculate better information than what the fuck is already floating around here now. You know what I mean?
Damn, dude.
Because everything that's floating around now was bullshit. Pretty much everything. It's like if we look at so much of life, there's so many areas and aspects where it's just speculation or somebody's opinion or whatever, and it kind of gains traction because other people agree with it. There's a lot of things people agree with that are completely not correct. You know what I'm saying? Like, we all thought eating margarine was okay. Like, eating margarine is not okay. That shit is so bad for you. The same thing with, like, drinking milk. Like, it's not good for you. But we've kind of coming full circle to where maybe it might be in terms of raw, like real raw, unpasteurized milk, unhomogenized. That might be healthy. But the milk we just buy from the store, which fucking millions or trillions or billions, I don't even know how many people buy milk, but people buy milk and we still think it's going to build strong bones and this and that, but it's like, it's really just pus and mucus. And I don't know that it's necessarily designed for humans. You know what I mean? I feel better if I drink some clean ass almond milk versus drinking some milk. If I drink like homogenized cow milk, I feel bloaty the next day. My face feels puffy and I'm all like mucusy and slimy feeling. It's fucking gross. If I drink almond milk, I don't even know. You know what I mean? Now, granted, some of this almond milk is terrible if you read the ingredients. But if you get the pure shit where it's just fucking like almond milk and water, or like almonds and water as the only ingredients, then you got some good shit, you know? But it's like that, you know? It's like, well, that's how we listen to our body. That's how we appreciate health and notice how each food item makes us feel. This is something I need to work on, because when I'm in tune, I'm very, very, very aware with it. But when I start eating a bunch of shit, like I'm so out of tune and I just eat whatever, because it desensitizes my thinking. It desensitizes my feelings. It desensitizes my physical feelings. So when that happens, I realized, like fucking yesterday, I was challenged by the plug, what up, to eat healthy and exercise twice for the day and to drink a gallon of water. And I was like, fuck, because I've been so out of it. But at the same time, I did that for 112 days in a row doing 75 hard. You know, like I said, for those of you guys that follow along, mine turned into 112 days rather than 75. But my point is, I did that for 112 days. I had no fucking problem with it. And then it's like, it got brought up to me and I'm like, oh shit, I don't know if I can do that, this and that and all this. I got cookies, I got this, I got that. And I'm like, motherfucker, like, stop. So doing that, waking up today, I can feel my body. I feel way better. Because at night I would keep eating all these snacks, dude. And now that I didn't, I feel it. And I'm like, whoa, I have this extra bit of like energy and clarity to my thinking and how I feel because of that.
Damn, dude.
You know what I mean? So it's like, it all has a direct effect. So when we've been so desensitized that we can't even feel that cookies made us feel like shit, then something's up. You know what I mean? We're not living the right lifestyle. I also read and exercise. I did all this shit and I was like, wow, like I felt my brain just kind of like, like I fucking plugged the charger back in, you know? So I think that it's important to look at things and stop and appreciate them. So there's small things. This is kind of silly, but I know I caught myself doing this. Like I was unconscious. I was doing it, but I noticed this whole thing about basically what this whole episode's been about. I noticed that about myself, and I was like, hold on, because I noticed myself scrolling past I scrolled past somebody doing a triple backflip on a bicycle, and then I got to the next thing, and I was like, I just skipped that. I was like, dude, young me would have been like, no, what? I would have fucking showed everybody. I would have told everybody. Now I can't even send that to my friends. And like, if I send that to my friends, they won't even fucking like it or even acknowledge it. You know what I mean? Maybe there's a couple people really into biking, but they've already seen it and they're already desensitized. And so this is where we have this. It's like, what the fuck, dude? We're really desensitized to what we thought was the coolest shit ever. And that's just weird to me. You know what I'm saying? So we got to get in tune with ourselves. We got to get in tune, man. And this is where unlearning and relearning is this continuous thing. A lot of us have unlearned all the cool shit we enjoyed when we were younger and relearned a bunch of new boring shit and kind of filled in the gaps with all this entertainment and adult worry and issue and all this strange shit, to the point where we're just completely fucking disconnected from life, reality, our bodies, our own fucking thoughts and opinions and feelings. So this is where I encourage everybody to practice some meditation, get out and exercise, share your thoughts and opinions and feelings, broadcast authentically into the internet, because every time we're on the internet, we're either consuming or feeding it. And consuming it kind of is feeding it in its own way. At the same time, you can feed it what you want to feed it. It's like the same way people grow their own fucking weed plants. And it's kind of funny, like the real weed nerds are always talking about their nutrients that they use for the plants. Some people are like, no newts, bro. Some people are like, yeah, fucking load it up with all the newts, all the extra ones. And, you know, and then you got people like, no, my shit's organic. Oh, and then you got people, oh, my shit's miracle growed the fuck out. My shit's fucking pumped full of everything. It's going to grow huge. Other people are like, you got all these different things in between, but it's like, what newts are you feeding yourself? You know what I mean? What nutrients are you feeding your brain? What nutrients are you consuming? What nutrients are you putting into it? Because here's the thing is, just like growing your own weed plants, whatever nutrients you put into it is going to be the result and what you get as the final product. So it's like, what do we want as our results and our final product? What nutrients are we feeding into our brain? Meaning, what are we watching? What are we listening to? What are we thinking about? This is why this show is so important. This is why the Damn Dude podcast is so important, is because we're feeding good, healthy, universal nutrients into this world of internet, into the world of reality that others aren't. You know what I mean? And it's like the same way that fucking drinking water is universally good for people. It's like this show and these types of conversations are universally good for people. You know what I mean? It's like there's just some things where it's like, yeah, it can fuck you up if you overindulge. You can drink too much water. It's not good for you. You can listen to too many podcasts and not do fucking anything with your life. You can sit here and just study and never fucking do anything. So that's part of the nutrients. Is like you can't just keep feeding your plant forever. At some point, you got to cut it. At some point, you got to trim it. At some point, you got to harvest. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, what is it? What are the seeds that we're planting? And then what is it that's going to harvest from all the seeds we've planted? You know what I'm saying?
Damn, dude.
So meditate, feel your body, consider what you're consuming and consider what you're putting out there. Because another way to feed the internet is to make your own videos, be aware of what you're sharing, be aware of if it's original or not. You know, I went on this kick of Facebook a while back to where I made a deal with myself and I guess to the public where I was like, I will only share original thoughts and ideas and pictures. And for a while, that was all I did. I didn't repost anything that wasn't real. Like from me or my thoughts or something that was like a dope accomplishment, like one of my friends accomplished or something. Outside of that, if it was entertaining, if it was this, that, there was a while where like motivational quotes were getting posted and people were like, yeah, 100. Oh, I feel this. And it's like, okay, but that's not what you actually believe in. Otherwise you would post your own version of that. You know what I mean? Just recycling all the shit. Oh, I agree with that. Resharing shit that we didn't actually take the time to like talk about means we didn't actually get it. So you see people who post all these motivational quotes, they're typically people who don't get it or they're unhappy. But it's cool because they're trying. But here's the thing is originality goes a long fucking way. You don't have to be positive. You don't have to be motivating. You don't have to be fucking anything. You don't have to even have a point. But the thing is like, dude, feed the internet some good shit if you can. And if you're not, then what you're consuming, consume good shit. Be aware of what you're consuming. Know the ingredients in what you're feeding yourself visually on the internet.
Damn, dude.
Damn, dude.
Damn. What are the ingredients? You know what I'm saying? It's like, what's the ingredients of this video you watched? What's the ingredients of the news you took in? What's it going to do to you? Is it going to make you shit your brains out? Or is it going to water the fucking seed of your brain? You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, it's some crazy shit, dude. So, body awareness, authenticity, and being aware of where we're desensitized is a huge fucking powerful place to start. Because knowing where we're desensitized allows us to bring awareness to that again. And it's like we're either aware or we're desensitized. We got a choice. You know what I mean? So, again, this is season 2, episode 27. I'm your host, California Cal. This is and was and will be the Damn Dude podcast. Appreciate you guys. Give us a like, share, 5-star written review. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Tell a family member. Tell a homie. All that good shit. Much love. I love you guys. Have a beautiful day. Peace.
Damn, dude.
Damn, dude.
Damn, dude.
Damn.